James Turner for the untouchable, true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. All right, so I wanted to speak on this because this is another follow-up to Gervonta versus Lamont Roach, but it's a follow-up from a different angle, a different vantage point, a different perspective, if you will, because one of the stories that's not really being told about this fight, and I've seen Rick Glazer talk about this on Twitter, so shout out to Rick, but I was thinking about this before Rick even thought about tweeting it, is ProBox TV. You know, ProBox, they had Lamont Roach was their guy. He fought Tank, one of the faces of boxing and, you know, the face of PBC. And most rational, sane human beings and boxing fans believe really and truthfully that Lamont Roach won the fight. And as I reflect on ProBox TV, you know, because their first card was in February of 2022. So they just now hit the 3-year mark in boxing. And I look at what they're doing in the sport, and their impact is just undeniable. You know, they got a great YouTube channel. They put on a great Wednesday night fight series. And it's just crazy because I think they've evolved into something a lot greater than what they started off as. You know, first, ProBox was serving as, you know, a midweekday fight series to kind of fill in for the void that was left by Showbox, you know, on Showtime, which was so successful for so many years and the development of many guys that went on to become world champions, right? It started off as that. And, you know, good fighters and great fights. That's their motto. That's what they live by. That's what they die by. But now, ProBox has had a massive influence at the world levels of boxing because you have Lamont Roach fight Gervonta Davis, one of the biggest names in boxing. Most people thought he won the fight, right? Back in August, Angelo Leo, who, you know, was a world champion, then lost Stephen Fulton, and then, you know, you guys know the story. I've told it many times here on True School Sports. He had a 2.5-year layoff. He fights 3 times on ProBox, fights Venado Lopez in a world title fight on ESPN as underdog, knocks him out, now becomes a world champion. Now he's going to Japan to fight Tomoe Kameda and make 6 figures. You know, he's back in the 6 figures. And largely due to ProBox, you know, he's the first ever fighter to go the ProBox route to become a world champion. So he set the trend in that regard. And then, like, you look at, you know, and I'll do a separate video on this later on because I have a lot to say about this. But Ramon Cardenas, who's a super bantamweight contender, apparently now he's getting a fight with Naoya Monster Inoue. So you're talking about ProBox, not only is their fight series and their promotion company serving as a place for fighters to get the name out there, rebuild their careers, get tested, but it's now serving as a legitimate pathway for fighters that maybe that didn't get the right investment in their careers to fight on the world level against the biggest and best names in the sport. And that's, I feel like right now, ProBox TV has even the score for boxers. You know, if you have it within your heart to be in competitive fights, perform well, win, kick ass, and take names, you did it on ProBox. Now you have a chance to actually carve out a real career for yourself. And that's such a beautiful thing in boxing because what was happening for a long time in boxing before ProBox was a lot of fighters, you know, if you weren't like the A-side ticket seller, you know, you weren't getting fights. And vice versa. If you're not like a journeyman or like just a can, so to speak, you weren't going to get fights either. All the fighters that were just good fighters that maybe don't have a big name and aren't promoted that much and don't talk a lot, a lot of those fighters were getting, you know, just lost in the shuffle of boxing. High risk, low reward. They wouldn't get fights unless, you know, the promoters of the A side or the managers of the A side felt comfortable enough with their guys stepping in. But now ProBox has allowed the guys at the mid-level, you know, the guys in the top 10 of the rankings that are 10, 11, 12, 13, to actually be afforded the chance to have a real legitimate career. And that's a beautiful thing because the biggest problem I've seen with the boxing business over the years is that a lot of fighters get discouraged because they have to work 9-to-5 jobs and they don't really see a light at the end of the tunnel. And what ProBox TV has done is provided a light at the end of the tunnel. So for my money, and listen, guys, I don't make a dime from ProBox like Gary Jonas, Daniel Rubin, the whole company. They're not paying me nothing to say what I'm saying. I'm saying this because this is what I really believe. And I give them credit. I will criticize ProBox. I didn't like the California show because of the California commissions. I think all their shows should just be in Florida, honestly. But other than that, ProBox TV has been the most well-ran company in boxing, and it's showing. It's showing not just when they have their own in-house shows, but it's showing on the world level. You look at even in some fights where their guys lose, like even in the fights where their fighters lose. You look at like Caleb Plant versus Cherry McCumbee. McCumbee was a fighter fighting on ProBox, who was building his career on ProBox, right? And he goes into the Caleb Plant fight, puts Caleb Plant on his ass. He actually had to make Caleb Plant dig into that bag and show something new to beat him. So even in a loss, that was a good loss for him. McCumbie's stock did go up after that loss. In the early days, Jimmy Kelly, he fought on the very first ProBox main event against Kanat Islam. Light punching British fighter, lost to Liam Smith when he challenged for the world title. Couldn't really get his career moving the way he wanted to. Fought Kanat Islam, the former Olympian, who was ranked highly at the time. Beat Kanat Islam on ProBox and then got a fight with Jaime Munguia. Performed well in the early rounds of that fight, but couldn't take the power, couldn't take the heat. But made Munguia look stupid. So what ProBox has done to me is they've evened the score for a lot of the have-nots in boxing. ProBox TV is allowing the have-nots to become superstars, to make 6 figures, to make 7 figures. And that shit is just so beautiful to me because as someone who really loves this sport and I have so much respect for the fighters, I got friends in the fight game. You guys know I got a couple fighters who are friends. It's just great to see a pathway for fighters to progress. And Lamont Roach, look at him. Now all of a sudden, he probably made in the high 6 figures or 7 figures for this fight. He's going to make 7 figures for sure in a rematch. And look at all the opportunities he's going to get from boxing because of the Tank fight. And that doesn't happen if, ProBox TV doesn't give him a platform to fight Fergal McCroy and work with him and whatnot. And, same thing with Angelo. Angelo's career, I've had a front row seat for that, from the beginning. From, like, being at Angelo's house in, 2020? Was it 2020? Like 2023, like early 2023. I remember being at Angelo's house, telling him about ProBox and telling him that was a great route to go. And like, I advised him to, look into that and really consider going the ProBox route, and he did. And like now he's able to fight for 6 figures. He might get an Inoue fight one day, and it's afforded him to have a real career. Now he can take care of his son, I love his son, right? So. That's what boxing's all about. Ramon Cardenas, do I think he should be fighting Inoue? No, not really. And I'll talk about that in another video. But like, he's a guy that's lower in the super bantamweight rankings, and now he's getting a chance to fight one of the biggest names in boxing. So, yeah, shout out to ProBox, man. ProBox TV just kicking ass and taking names on all levels of boxing. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you guys think. We're 3 years into ProBox TV being involved in boxing. What do you guys think about ProBox TV and like Lamont Roach? He's a ProBox fighter. Angelo Leo, ProBox fighter. Ramon Cardenas getting ready to fight Inoue. He's a ProBox fighter. McCumbee gave Caleb Plant a tough fight. What do you guys think about ProBox TV and the what they've been doing in boxing? And leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you guys click right over here.
Keep watching my boy BT put on the best interviews out here.